You walk into a dealership and the service manager smiles like you are a walking ATM. He wants you to buy a fragile, high-maintenance machine that guarantees you return every 6 months to hand over thousands of dollars in service fees. Dealerships need your motorcycle to break. That is the business model. Today, we expose 15 motorcycles that dealerships despise selling because they never come back. These machines run for 100,000 miles with zero drama, starving the service department of its precious recurring revenue. Number 1 outlives the dealership building itself. Let us get into it. Number 15, Kawasaki Vulcan 900. Starting our countdown at number 15 is the middleweight cruiser that quietly outlives machines costing 3 times as much. Cruiser forums are full of Vulcan owners reporting 100,000 miles on the original engine block without a single catastrophic internal failure. Dealerships rely on high-margin service tickets from traditional American V-twins that rattle themselves apart. The Vulcan earns the dealer almost nothing after the initial sale. The liquid-cooled engine does not overheat in stop-and-go traffic. The Kevlar drive belt lasts 25,000 miles. The service bay starves. The service schedule is laughably simple. Oil every 7,500 miles. Valves every 15,000 miles. You will spend roughly $150 a year maintaining this bike compared to the $600 average for air-cooled pushrod cruisers requiring constant primary fluid swaps and clutch adjustments. The engineering reason it refuses to break: Kawasaki used efficient liquid cooling on a low-revving 903 cc twin, producing a modest 50 horsepower. The engine operates under stress. Internal components never get pushed to their thermal or mechanical limits. The honest weak point is the factory electrical stator, which burns out around 50,000 miles. Annoying, but a cheap aftermarket replacement fixes it permanently. A pristine used Vulcan 900 goes for $3,500. It is the ultimate buy-once cruiser for beginner and intermediate riders who want the V-twin aesthetic without the terrifying maintenance bills of an American heavyweight. The Vulcan is an iron horse, but the urban commuter at number 14 is the machine that dealerships sell fast and never see again. Number 14, Honda Rebel 500, the undisputed champion of the modern entry-level market. Motorcycle training schools and daily commuters push the Rebel 500 past 100,000 miles. It survives constant dropping, endless clutch slipping, and pure urban abuse without a single engine complaint. Training schools run fleets of these things. This bike uses Honda's legendary 471cc parallel twin. Consumables like brake pads and tires last because the bike is lightweight. The dealer makes their profit on the sale, and then you disappear from their database because nothing ever breaks. Valve clearance checks land at 16,000 miles. For a small displacement bike, that is remarkable. Your yearly maintenance cost sits around $100, while entry-level European competitors demand $400 a year in specialized services and software updates. The engineering secret: the 471 cubic centimeters parallel twin features overbuilt main bearings and a low red line. By capping power at 46 horsepower, Honda ensured the engine never revs high enough to cause destructive internal friction. It is physically incapable of hurting itself. The honest weak point has nothing to do with the engine. The stock seat is a torture device. A wooden plank will be more comfortable after 45 minutes. Buy an aftermarket seat before your first long ride. Used Rebel 500s are everywhere for $4,500. Urban riders, daily commuters, and shorter riders who want a nimble machine that asks for nothing but gasoline will love this bike. The Rebel owns the city. But the immortal V-twin at number 13 has been destroying racetracks and racking up 150,000 miles since before some of our viewers were born. Number 13, Suzuki SV650. This is the motorcycle that taught an entire generation how to ride, race, and commute. The SV650 gets bounced off the rev limiter every weekend on racetracks across the world. Yet owners consistently report crossing 150,000 miles on the original engine internals. Dealerships hate it because it cannibalizes sales of expensive, higher-margin, middleweight naked bikes. Why finance a delicate $12,000 Italian exotic when the SV650 delivers the exact same thrill and never blows a head gasket? Valve clearance checks hit at 14,500 miles. The naked layout means that mechanics can access the cylinder heads without fighting fairings, keeping labor costs low. About $200 a year to maintain, against the $700 yearly average for complex European naked bikes. The engineering genius is the 90-degree V-twin architecture. Because the cylinders sit exactly 90 degrees apart, the engine has perfect primary balance. It naturally cancels destructive harmonic vibrations that would otherwise tear at the engine mounts and internal bearings over time. The early generations before 2017 have a known weak point. The factory rectifier and regulator runs hot and burns out. Relocate it or upgrade to a MOSFET regulator and the problem disappears forever. Pick up a phenomenal used SV650 for $3,500. Learn on it, commute on it, take it to the track. It is a buy-once decision for literally every rider on Earth. The SV owns the street, but the air-cooled dinosaur at number 12 has been surviving deserts and deep woods for over 30 years without asking for anything more than an oil change. Number 12. Honda XR650L. Honda has refused to update this machine since 1993. Not because they forgot about it, because it is impossible to improve on something that already works perfectly in the harshest conditions on Earth. This dual sport has been crossing deserts and tackling the Trans-America Trail for decades, with examples breaking 100,000 miles in brutal dirt conditions. The dealership service bay makes zero money off this motorcycle. It is air-cooled. No radiators to crack, no water pumps to fail, no coolant hoses to burst. XR owners are notoriously self-sufficient. They fix their bikes in the woods with basic hand tools and never visit the dealer. Oil changes hit every 2,000 miles, but the job takes 10 minutes in the driveway. Your yearly cost is a laughable $50 in oil and filters, against the $800 yearly cost of rebuilding the top end of a high-strung European enduro bike. Honda used the legendary RFVC cylinder head, radial 4-valve combustion, and an overbuilt bottom end designed in the 1980s. The clearances are loose, the compression is low, and the massive cooling fins shed heat brilliantly. Agricultural engineering at its finest. The CDI ignition box is mounted where frame vibration cracks its internal solder joints over time, killing the spark. Buy an aftermarket CDI, relocate it under the seat, and you will never think about it again. A solid used XR650L runs about $4,000. This is the ultimate buy-once apocalypse vehicle for hardcore off-grid riders, tall riders, and dirt purists who want zero modern technology between them and the trail. The XR is an off-road legend. The global traveler at number 11 refuses to die on a completely different scale. We are talking circumnavigating the globe on bad fuel and zip ties. Number 11, Kawasaki KLR650. The undisputed king of cheap global exploration. The KLR650 has circumnavigated the globe thousands of times. Riders clock 150,000 miles while feeding it terrible low-octane gasoline in developing nations. It chugs along. Dealers call it the cockroach of motorcycles because it survives everything. KLR owners are famous for being aggressively frugal. They repair broken plastics with zip ties, mount milk crates for luggage, and avoid the dealership service department like it owes them money. There is zero repeat business. Valve checks land at 15,000 miles on a simple shim-over bucket design. You will spend around $100 a year maintaining a KLR against the $1,000 yearly cost of maintaining a flagship, electronic-heavy European adventure bike. The 652 cubic centimeter single-cylinder engine is lazy by design. Very low compression, never revs high enough to cause meaningful internal damage. The massive piston moves up and down with tractor-like reliability at RPMs that would bore a diesel generator. The famous weak point is the doohickey, the balancer chain tensioner lever. On pre-2008 models, it is fragile and snaps, sending metal shards into the engine. Every KLR owner must upgrade it with an aftermarket Eagle mic part before riding. This is not optional. Pre-scratched, KLRs are everywhere for $3,500. It comes pre-depreciated and never loses value, making it a buy-once machine for budget round-the-world travelers who value unkillable utility over horsepower. If dealerships losing sleep over these machines brings you joy, hit that like button right now. The KLR is a heavy tractor. The Suzuki at number 10 delivers the exact same legendary longevity with less weight and a secret cooling system no one talks about. Number 10. Suzuki DR650. If the KLR is a tractor, the DR650 is a dirt scalpel. It has been in production since 1996, and adventure riders pushed the original engine block past 100,000 miles in grueling high-temperature off-road environments. It is even simpler than the KLR Zero liquid cooling system to maintain. Dealerships hate it because it is the definition of a closed-loop purchase. The owner buys it, modifies it with parts bought online, and the dealer never sees a dime of service revenue. Valve checks hit at 7,500 miles, but the screw and lock nut adjusters require no expensive shims. A wrench and a screwdriver. 30 minutes. Your yearly maintenance cost is $75. The engineering genius is the SAX system. Suzuki Advanced Cooling System. A massive oil cooler combined with an internal jet that blasts high-pressure engine oil directly against the bottom of the piston. It cools the engine from the inside, preventing the piston from expanding and seizing even in extreme desert heat. No radiator required. The one known trap is the upper drive chain roller. If the suspension bottoms out, the chain strikes the roller, snaps it off, and rips a hole in the frame. Remove the upper roller before riding off-road. A 5-minute job that saves a catastrophic repair. A rugged used DR650 goes for $4,000. It is the ultimate blank canvas for off-road exploration and the perfect buy-once machine for dirt-focused dual-sport riders who want lighter and more agile than the KLR. The DR rules the dirt. The Commuter at number 9 is built from half a Honda car engine and may be the most sensible motorcycle ever manufactured. Number 9. Honda NC750X, the most pragmatic, sensible, and indestructible commuter motorcycle ever produced. European dispatch riders and daily commuters rack up 150,000 miles on these machines, designed for relentless everyday duty in rain, cold, and traffic that would destroy weaker machines. The dealership hates this bike because the engine physically cannot be abused. The rev limiter kicks in aggressively at 7,500 RPM. Even if a rider tries to beat on it, the computer shuts down the fun before any mechanical stress occurs. The engine never wears out. Valve checks land at 16,000 miles on simple screw-type adjusters. It sips fuel and is gentle on tires. You will spend around $100 a year maintaining this machine, against the $500 category average for middleweight sport tourers. The secret is that the engine is literally half of a Honda Fit automobile engine, tilted forward at 62 degrees. Car engine architecture means massive low-end torque and extreme longevity. The engine barely breaks a sweat at highway speeds because it was designed for four-wheel commuter duty first. The one weak point is the instrument display fading or burning out after years of sitting in direct sunlight. The LCD screen degrades, a minor cosmetic annoyance on an otherwise perfect machine. A reliable used NC750X costs $5,500, and it comes with a brilliant built-in storage trunk where the gas tank normally sits. Pragmatic daily commuters who want maximum fuel efficiency and zero drama will never want anything else. The NC is half a car engine in a motorcycle suit. The Brawler at number 8 is the choice of professional stunt riders, and it still crosses 100,000 miles without opening the cases. Number 8. Yamaha MT-07. Professional stunt riders bounce it off the rev limiter, ride endless wheelies, and slam it into the pavement. The CP2 engine crosses 100,000 miles without catastrophic failure. If it can survive that crowd, it can survive you. The MT-07 is the perfect storm of high performance and low maintenance. The owner gets the adrenaline rush of a sport bike without the massive service invoices that lifestyle normally demands. Zero warranty claims. Zero repeat business for the dealer. The valve clearance check interval is an absolutely staggering 26,000 miles. You can ride this bike for years before a mechanic needs to open the engine. Maintenance costs run roughly $150 a year against the $800 yearly cost of European hypernakeds. The engineering reason: the 689 cubic centimeters engine features Yamaha's famous cross-plane CP2 crankshaft. The cylinders are offset from the crankshaft, which reduces the lateral friction of the piston scraping against the cylinder wall during combustion. Less friction means less heat, and less heat means massively extended engine life. The engine is a masterpiece. The stock suspension is a disaster. It is terrifyingly soft and underdamped for any rider who wants to push the bike in the canyons. Upgrading the fork springs is mandatory. The suspension is the only thing standing between you and a perfect motorcycle. Used MT-0s are everywhere for $5,500. Urban hooligans, canyon carvers, and weekend warriors who want aggressive fun on a strict budget will find nothing better at this price. The MT-07 is a modern brawler. The classic at number 7 looks like it rolled out of 1969, and it still manages to make British reliability a real thing. Number 7, Triumph Bonneville T120. It looks like it rolled out of 1969. It is actually one of the most mechanically sound motorcycles in production. Historically, British bikes meant oil leaks and breakdowns. The modern liquid-cooled Bonneville shattered that reputation entirely. Riders crossed 100,000 miles on these machines while touring the countryside. Dealerships used to make a fortune fixing oil leaks and electrical gremlins on older British machines. The modern T120 requires a staggering 10,000 miles between standard oil changes. The service bay essentially never sees the bike outside of routine tire swaps. Valve checks land at a massive 20,000 miles. Your yearly maintenance cost sits around $300, an absolute bargain against the $900 yearly average for older air-cooled European classics. Triumph engineered a 1,200 cubic centimeter parallel twin and then restricted it to produce only 80 horsepower. By heavily restricting the output of a massive engine, they created a motor with thick engine casings and zero internal stress. It lopes along at low RPMs without ever working hard. The front brake rotors on early liquid-cooled models warp under heavy, high-speed canyon braking, causing a violent shudder through the lever. Not a deal breaker, but worth knowing before buying a used example. A gorgeous used T120 goes for $8,000. The timeless styling will never go out of fashion, making it a buy-once investment for retro lovers who demand vintage aesthetics with actual daily reliability. If you want weekly mechanical breakdowns and money-saving secrets that dealerships do not want you reading, subscribe to the channel right now. The Bonneville is a relaxed classic. The massive sport tourer at number 6 is built to cross 3 state lines before lunchtime and never need a breakdown call. Number 6, Yamaha FJR1300. If you need to cross 3 state lines before lunchtime and refuse to worry about a breakdown, the FJR1300 is your machine. It is the undisputed choice of iron butt rally competitors, and examples clock 200,000 miles while spending their entire lives blasting down the interstate at speed. Dealerships hate the FJR because it features a bulletproof shaft drive and a massive inline-4 engine that never needs a clutch replacement. BMW dealerships make significant profits fixing final drives on their touring bikes. The Yamaha shaft drive refuses to break, eliminating the high-dollar repair tickets entirely. Valve checks hit at 26,000 miles. Because it is a heavy touring bike, tires are your biggest expense. You will average $400 a year in maintenance, destroying the $1,500 yearly budget required for a flagship German touring machine. Yamaha used advanced ceramic composite cylinder sleeves. These specialized sleeves dissipate extreme engine heat and resist piston ring wear over hundreds of thousands of miles. The cylinder walls last longer than the riders who own them. The Generation 2 models from 2006 to 2012 have a known electrical flaw: the ground spider connector. The main grounding harness overheats and melts, causing total electrical failure. Check that the factory recall wiring harness has been installed before buying a used example. A transcontinental used FJR1300 goes for $6,000. High-speed cross-country riders and older sport bike riders wanting massive horsepower with all-day comfort will find nothing better at this price point. The FJR is a heavy missile. The middleweight at number 5 does the exact same job for half the price, and dealers hate it just as much. Number 5, Kawasaki Versys 650. A tall, upright, capable machine delivering the perfect balance of touring comfort and canyon agility. The 649cc parallel twin crosses 100,000 miles despite being held at constant high highway RPMs for days on end across European touring routes. Dealerships hate the Versys because it has none of the fragile, expensive electronic suspension systems found on premium sport tours. No $2,000 electronic shocks to fail and replace. The engine refuses to blow up. Manual suspension lasts decades. The math is brutal for the service manager. Valve checks hit at 15,000 miles and the bike is easy to work on, keeping labor costs low. you will spend around $200 a year maintaining the Versys against the $800 yearly cost of strung-out Italian sport tours. Kawasaki designed the engine with a semi-dry sump oiling system. The massive oil supply stays constantly circulated to critical bearings under high pressure, preventing oil starvation during hard acceleration, steep inclines, or aggressive cornering. The bearings never run dry. The exhaust valves on this engine tighten faster than the intake valves. If the bike lives at the red line, exhaust valves can go out of spec before the 15,000-mile interval arrives. Check them early if you ride hard. A luggage-equipped used Versys 650 goes for $4,500. Paved road touring riders, tall commuters, and pragmatic travelers who want comfort without flagship weight will find everything they need here. The Versys is sensible and brilliant. The hyperbike at number 4 will shock you. Most people assume a machine capable of nearly 190 miles per hour would be a fragile maintenance nightmare. They are wrong. Number 4, Suzuki Hayabusa. This entry shocks people every time. A motorcycle capable of nearly 190 miles per hour, and it is less expensive to maintain than a Honda CB500. The Hayabusa is not a fragile hand grenade. It is a tank wearing a body kit. High-speed highway commuters and drag racers push the massive inline four past 100,000 miles without opening the engine cases. Dealerships rely on high-performance superbikes to generate repair bills. Italian superbikes ridden aggressively generate thousands in burnt clutches and dropped valves. The Hayabusa handles the same abuse and never breaks. It is the service manager's nightmare. Valve checks at 15,000 miles. Large but simple fairings keep labor reasonable. You will spend roughly $500 a year, mostly on rear tires, consumed at an impressive rate against the $2,000 yearly budget of a European leader bike. The engineering reason for its bulletproof nature: the 1,340 cubic centimeter engine was built to handle 200 horsepower and massive aftermarket turbochargers. Riding it stock at 5,000 revolutions per minute causes zero internal stress. It is a sleeping giant that never works hard enough to brake. The front brakes on Generation 1 and early Generation 2 models are dangerously weak. Trying to stop a 600-pound missile with spongy factory calipers is genuinely frightening. Upgraded brake lines and pads are mandatory before riding this thing hard. A clean, unmolested Generation 2 Hayabusa goes for $7,000. Speed freaks, drag racers, and larger riders who want face-melting acceleration and hate the mechanics shop will find their dream machine here. The Hayabusa dominates the asphalt. The adventure machine at number 3 was engineered to conquer the globe without a single chain adjustment, and its service intervals will make you question everything you know about maintenance costs. Number 3, Yamaha Super Tenere 1200. When adventure riders get tired of snapped chains and paying thousands to fix German final drives, they buy the Super Tenere 1200, the most reliable large displacement adventure bike ever built. Owners cross 150,000 miles across brutal terrain without the engine skipping a beat. The Super Tenere severes the traditional adventure bike maintenance cycle. The shaft drive requires zero maintenance beyond a fluid swap. The engine valves are robust and long-lived. Dealerships hate it because it cuts the highly profitable service tether that keeps ADV riders returning to European shops. Valve checks at a massive 26,000 miles. Shaft drive fluid swap, 5 minutes, $10. You will spend roughly $300 a year maintaining this machine against the $1,400 yearly service budget required for equivalent KTM or BMW flagships. Yamaha used a DRI sump oiling system that keeps the engine block compact and protected from rock strikes. The cooling radiators are side-mounted, shielded from the catastrophic dirt and gravel impacts thrown up by the front wheel on rough terrain. Every design choice removes a failure point. The factory cam chain tensioner wears out early, creating a horrible metallic rattle on cold starts. Upgrade to a manual tensioner or the redesigned Yamaha part before the timing chain suffers damage. The one thing the original design got wrong: a fully loaded used Super Tenere 1200 goes for $8,500. Serious, high-mileage adventure riders who demand shaft drive convenience and hate massive repair bills will find nothing better at any price. If this list is making you rethink every motorcycle you have ever bought, drop a comment below telling us which bike surprised you most. We read every single one. The Super Tenere is a heavy bruiser that refuses to break. But the legendary machine at number 1 does not just refuse to break, it refuses to age. Number 2, Suzuki V-Strom 650, affectionately known as the V-Strom. It lacks the aggressive styling of modern adventure bikes. It makes up for every aesthetic shortcoming by being mechanically immortal. Alaskan guides and cross-country commuters push these machines well past 150,000 miles. Dealerships hate the V-Strom because it uses the same proven 645 cubic centimeters engine architecture as the SV650, tuned for even less stress. No experimental technology, no TFT screens to glitch, no electronic suspension to leak, a closed-loop sale that generates zero repair revenue, valve checks at 14,500 miles. The bike is gentle on chains and sprockets. Your yearly maintenance budget hovers around $200, making it dramatically cheaper than any European middleweight adventure bike on the market. Suzuki mastered the thermal dynamics of this V-twin. Advanced liquid cooling, combined with low-friction piston rings, manages internal engine temperatures over extreme distances, preventing premature cylinder wall wear. The engine just does not age the way other engines do. Like most Suzukis of this era, the electrical stator runs too hot inside the engine casing and burns out around 60,000 miles. Annoying and predictable, but cheap to fix. Budget for it, address it when it happens, and move on. A luggage-equipped used V-Strom 650 sells for $4,800. Pragmatic global travelers, daily commuters, and riders who value uninterrupted seat time over flashy aesthetics will find the perfect machine here. The V-Strom is a touring immortal, but the absolute king of reliability at number 1 does not just outlast its competitors, it routinely outlasts the riders who own it. Number 1. Honda Goldwing GL 1800, the absolute undisputed king of global motorcycle reliability. The machine is so well engineered, it defies the normal lifespan of a combustion engine. This is the only motorcycle on Earth where buying a used model with 100,000 miles is considered barely broken in. Dedicated touring riders push the massive flat 6 to 300,000 and even 500,000 miles without a complete engine rebuild. Read that again, 500,000 miles. Dealerships despise the mechanical integrity of the Goldwing. Harley-Davidson dealerships survive by rebuilding American V-twins at the 60,000 mile mark. The Honda Goldwing will outlive the rider and the dealership building. Once someone buys a Goldwing, they are removed from the motorcycle consumer cycle for the next 20 years. The valve clearance check interval is a staggering 32,000 miles, and mechanics report they almost never need adjustment when they get there. You will spend roughly $500 a year on a Goldwing, almost entirely on replacing the rear tires it consumes. Compare that to the $2,500 yearly budget required to maintain a heavy American bagger. The genius is the horizontally opposed flat 6 engine. The pistons punch outward away from each other simultaneously, giving the engine perfect primary and secondary balance. Zero destructive harmonic vibration. The engine never shakes. The frame, bearings, and seals are never subjected to violent mechanical stress. They last forever because nothing is fighting them. The engine is flawless. The packaging is a nightmare. The Goldwing is covered in acres of overlapping plastic fairings. Accessing the air filter alone takes hours of meticulous labor. You will pay a heavy labor tax for basic maintenance. Budget for it. It is the only price you pay for owning the most reliable motorcycle ever built. A pristine, used GL 1800 costs between $8,000 and $15,000, depending on generation and trim. Iron butt competitors, cross-continent tourers, and couples who want absolute luxury with absolute peace of mind on the open road will never need another motorcycle. 15 motorcycles, every one of them engineered to outlast the dealership that sold it. The motorcycle industry is designed to extract your money through fragile engineering and expensive service contracts. You now know the machines that break that cycle. Continue the ride and click on the next video. And don't forget to subscribe and like this video.